And good Friday morning to you. I'm Jalea, along with Carlos, Julia, and Chuck, back with an extra shot of sunrise. And really all week we've been using part of an extra shot to talk about the latest developments on Hurricane Ian. We're now saying hurricane again after yesterday saying back to tropical storm around this time, but it intensified kind of as people slept last night, and we're seeing some of the
storm went over warm water, so that's what feeds hurricanes, warm water, and that, as you know, along the Atlantic coast this time of year, it's pretty warm. That is what it looks like as far as the radar is concerned. I want to back up here and show you, though, the current coordinates. 85 miles per hour. We do expect this to stay a hurricane as it reaches landfall. In fact, these bands of rain. I've zoomed in on the Charleston radar here. It kind of helps me to see who's getting what. And this is all very, very heavy rain. Winds are sustained at about 30 miles per hour from Charleston to Myrtle Beach. Really, Hilton Head, too. But we've had gusts 35, 40 miles per hour. Now, this is the area that will have the heaviest rain. And you guys, Charleston, there's a reason they call that the low country. It is really low, like close to sea level low. And we're expecting 8 to, in some cases, a foot of rain in that area, which is going to mean, unfortunately for those folks, I believe, widespread flooding, and that would include the islands, the Isle of Palm, Mount Pleasant, and so forth. Here's the current coordinates, and this will be updated at 9 o'clock this morning, but you'll notice by 2 p.m. we're expecting this to get close to, if not reach landfall, just north of Charleston. But Charleston, all the way up to Myrtle Beach and Wilmington, will feel the effects of this with high winds and heavy rain. Tropical storm characteristics until the morning tomorrow. So this thing's going to be on the ground rumbling through South Carolina with very heavy and, we believe, flooding rains. Here's the good news for us. We don't think it's going to affect us much at all, except with a few clouds and maybe some drizzle from Richmond over to Connorsville. In the meantime, cold start, 45 now, but up to 70 degrees later on today.
Gosh, we've just been talking about all the damage, the video that's coming out of places like Sanibel and
Captiva,
Fort Myers, Captiva. It's just heartbreaking. I mean, they've got years of rebuilding ahead of them.
And there will be, honestly, because of insurance regulations, because of insurance, and then I'm sure that there will be buildings that will not be allowed to be rebuilt the way they were. Right, because they were maybe not substandard, but they barely met code, so yeah.
Well, and on a smaller note, too, I know a lot of Indiana parents are getting ready to maybe go to Florida for their fall break because their kids are off. My kids are off in a week and a half. And we had a hotel booked in Punta Gorda, and I just called and said the phone is not in service right now. So so if you have travel plans for Florida and it happens to be on that West Coast, you're going to need to check ahead of time to see what's going on, because I mean, you just don't know what's going on. I mean, if you're near the water, it's going to be some problems.
Well, we'll continue to follow that for you throughout the weekend, on weekend sunrise and the evening. But we've got big news around here.
I'd say so.
Yeah, we've kind of been waiting, and he doesn't even tell us about his big adventures on where he's going, which is probably good, because then it's a great surprise for us. And you announced, in case you missed it, on Sunrise this morning, your next big adventure.
And our next big adventure, drum roll please, is going to be autumn in New England.
That's
We've
gorgeous.
been pushing for this for a long time, and there you have it. From the lush greenery and the lush fall colors of Maine and New Hampshire and Vermont, we'll be up there capturing it all for you, but a lot more too. From the rocky shores of Maine to the world-class lobster that's not only caught but consumed there. We'll be involved in that. We will have music for you, sea shanty experts, and we're going to the coldest place in the continental United States, the summit of Mount Washington, which is bitter cold, but I can go so you don't have to, right? But it is going to be a wonderful trip. It's Chuck's Big Adventure. We start actually filming tomorrow in Bangor, Maine, but we'll be throughout, and we'll give you little hints via social media the next 2 weeks of where we're at, and we may get some suggestions from you as well.
And then we hope you'll tune in November. That's when we will be showing you Chuck's Big Adventure all trickled out through the month.
I think the first episode is on Halloween.
Oh, fun.
And so that whole week then going into November, we'll have Chuck's Big Adventure. And really, I look forward to every one of these. They're always fun. They're always a lot of work. But this is the one that I've been wanting to do for so many, well, really a couple years now.
So glad.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And like I said, everyone has their favorite of what
Yeah.
you've done in the past. Not for location, but for story, the Santa Claus story. When you went to the Santa
Yeah.
Claus
Oh, that
training,
was fun.
I don't know why I teared up. I literally teared up when I was watching it because it was just such a beautifully told story, and it was just great. And that's the thing. You can either love Chuck's Big Adventure for the locations or the stories. Those are two separate things. You go to these beautiful locations, but then you also find amazing stories at these locations.
And believe me, we've got some that I think will be memorable with a capital M, because you get a different type of person that lives in Vermont and New Hampshire and Maine, and we found them, and so we're going to bring them to you.
You're talking about the I know I'm probably simplifying this, but the Santa Claus camp, or kind of where you go
Right.
to
Santa
learn
school.
to
Santa school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where you go to
I
learn.
love that one.
Gotcha.
That was really-
because that was the first Chuck's Big Adventure that I saw.
Oh,
That was
good.
that is one of my favorite ones too. And then I like the kind of when you all the ones that have been in Indiana, because I think you've only done one that just kind of toured all of it, like
Yes.
different spots
Yep.
in Indiana, because
Yep.
that was just cool for me to learn different
And
spots.
when
in
I've
India.
asked for requests in the past,
Yeah.
like where would you like me to go? New England is always
Really?
either
Oh,
number
that's
one or two.
wonderful.
So
Okay.
yeah, we're glad we get to honor those requests.
Well, and if you've missed any of the Chuck's Big Adventures that we're talking about personally, you can go back and see them all, right?
Yeah, WTHR.com/Chuck's Big Adventure, or what I recommend, download that 13 Plus app to your smart TV. I watch it every day.
Yeah.
And we have by section, by trip, every single Chuck's Big Adventure that we have done since going back to really the
beginnings,
big
yeah.
royal wedding with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. And our Big Adventures turned out better than their situation did. But you can even watch those stories, and they're all at the 13 Plus app.
But we will miss you on your journey,
thank
and
you.
we will see you when you get back. And
I'll
looking
bring back
forward-
maple syrup for
Yeah.
everybody.
No clam chowder, huh?
Maybe not. Okay. Well, that'll do it for us here this morning on our Sunrise Extra Shot. Thanks so much for being with us. You guys have a great weekend, and we will be minus Chuck, but all of us back here on Monday.
Bye, guys. Have a good weekend.